The Kim Fraser Show on Montreal's News Talk Leader, CJAD 800.
Okay, wage slaves. Are you bored? You frustrated? Sick of selling your soul just to pay the bills? Well, turn your radio up, because we're about to change your life. Philippe Desrochers, Dr. Career, is with us, and he's here to talk about you getting your dream job. Hi, welcome, Dr. Career.
Hi, Kim. It's nice to be here.
Okay, so are you sure? Your dream job, really?
Well, the markets are tough, there's no question, and so you're right. I mean, when times are great, it's easier to find a dream job. People are still finding their dream jobs during the tough markets as well. It's possible.
Wow. Well, you ought to know you're a career. You're like the king of careers in this country. You lecture at the Satter School of Business at the University of British Columbia, where you teach a course on career management. You've written books about career management. You're a certified career development facilitator. And I mean, if there's anything about careers that you don't know, we're in big trouble. We'll also be taking calls. You can give us a shout, 514-790-0991. Okay, before we get to this really neat idea that you have, I want to tackle just the topic of a dream job, because there are so many people who are miserable in what they're doing, and they're not sure what they want to be when they grow up, Dr. Career.
Yes, absolutely, and I see that all the time. And so the question is, what is it you want? And you ask them, what do you want? And they say, well, I don't know what I want. I think, and in my experience, it's actually easier to find a job you want than a job you don't want. The number of people that I see that apply for roles, they don't get them, and then they complain that they don't get a job that they never wanted in the first place. It's just a nightmare. Don't do it. So I say, go for after what you want. There's actually a research that came out of Harvard about 2 years ago. It changed my life, and it changed the lives of the people I work with. She said, if you don't know what you want, just start moving.
Okay.
And that was the precipice of the challenge. Just get people moving, and when you start moving, you start experiencing, and then you're able to make informed decisions. The biggest barrier I see people moving forward in their careers is their lack or inability to make decisions, and decisions can be very scary. And one of the best ways to make decisions is to have life experience. But if you don't experience anything, you can't make a choice. And so the challenge addresses that lack or inability to make choices.
So it's like a big kick in the butt.
Absolutely. People, they talk about the Titanic taking a mile to turn. Well, that's like human beings sometimes.
Yeah.
And I said, how can we have a human being turn faster than that? And the trick is to get the momentum built. How do we build momentum? And that was one of the biggest. That's what inspires me. Listen, I had a career. I was so. They called it the golden handcuffs. Paid just enough to do it. I detested my job, and I was able to get out of it. And when I did that, I made a vow to help others do the same, get out of it, and land their dream job.
Okay, so this was sent to me by a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, who actually has her dream job, Anne Chatilla. And she says, you've got to talk to this guy, because it is so cool what he's doing. And she was telling me about the one-day dream job challenge. And this is your way of getting people up off their cabooses and out there actually doing something. What is it?
Well, it's very simple. It's a one-day itinerary designed to have people find work in one day.
Wow.
It's that straightforward. And the idea is you spend one day. It's an intense burst of energy, like a Band-Aid. You don't want to take it off slowly. Listen, I know looking for a career is not like watching a fantastic movie or going out on a great date. It's looking for a job. Now, I said to myself, well, let's get it over with quickly. So let's have one fast day. And what happens is you spend an intense burst of energy in one day, and following that day, you actually nurture the relationships you built during that one day. And I recently actually did a group at the beginning of May. We had 10 individuals who took the challenge. I have people doing the challenge individually, and I have people doing the challenge in group form, and I always want to be on top of the market. So I do groups. So we had a group of 10 students do this challenge. They booked 30 interviews in one day. And I tell this to people, and they're like, well, how's this possible? Well, I recently did a survey on what they thought the challenge or how they thought it went. They basically said this: whichever side has the greatest level of stress has the more success. So when you do the challenge, you are more stressed. The employer's not. You go to them. You are their HR strategy. The study's coming out now, like Career X Roads. There's a study from Career X Roads that says that companies are cutting back on expenses. They don't want to advertise, and they're not. So I say, why don't we be their HR strategy? Let's go to them.
You know what? That is like in media. It's like that. Nothing's ever posted.
No.
Like, and what percentage of jobs do you figure are not posted?
Well, the stats are very straightforward. About 12% of people land work with posted positions. And what I find shocking, what's really unfortunate, is that those 12%, it's not your dream job. All the jobs I've ever found have never been found and posted. I've lived this life. I've lived the challenge my entire life. That's how I do it. I walk in. Now, there's strategies. There's wording. If you use the wrong words, you're going to look unprofessional. You're going to get kicked out.
Okay.
If you call them and without an interview, they're going to say, why are you calling me if you talk too much? There's just enough talking. So the research we did was what's just enough talking to do with the receptionist, because the receptionist doesn't want to talk to you. The receptionist's job is to transfer you to the right person. So we work with the wording around how do you get past that person. So, yeah, it's critical. It's a science, and the wording has to be perfect in order to get through.
514-790-0991, Star Talk, star 8255. You can also text your message to 514-800. Our guest is Dr. Career. He's a certified career development facilitator, and he's a lecturer at the University of British Columbia, where he teaches a course on career management. And if you want to, get your career going, this is the guy to help you out. So you say you take one day, and so what is it? You identify sort of what sector you want to work in. You pick a bunch of companies. And you say don't deal with HR.
This is a non-HR strategy. That's why it works.
So you don't call the human resources department. You don't call them, say, who does the hiring? Who do you talk to?
Okay, now, listen, I'm not anti-HR, and I've gotten in trouble with this before.
Okay.
I love HR. In fact, but this strategy is very specific. Managers, you go directly to the manager. Now, if you go to a manager, often they'll say, go to HR. But the manager is the final decision maker. You go to the manager because they're the decision maker. And sometimes what happens, two things happen. One is they say, great, thanks for calling. I love this stat. You'll love this. The last group I did on the beginning of May, 10 students, 7 of them had the experience where the employer said, thank you for coming to me. We were shocked. They're not. Listen, the facts right now is employers are not posting. They're afraid, but they need people. And so when the student or the individual goes to them, they get thank yous. I mean, they were shocked when they would come back to the room. I call it the war room. So it'd be all in there sharing our success stories. I'm like, they thanked me. I couldn't believe it. I went in so nervous, and then they ended up thanking me. So
well, it's because people are busy. That's basically it. Managers, have been picking up the slack from downsizing, just like the wage slaves do. And so to have somebody come to you is a lot less work than having to sift through 9 million resumes from a posted job.
I mean, even when you make a mistake, I had an individual, she called banks. She wanted to work for a bank. She got a call back, and she said, is this TD Bank? And the guy said, no, we're CIBC. She made a huge error. So at that point, so she's right. She's telling me this story, and she says at that point she's quiet. She's not sure what's going to happen. The guy on the other line says, "It's okay. I really like how you came to see me. Come on in for an interview."
So how do we impress the boss, the manager, so that he doesn't blow us off? Like, how do you stand out? Because I have a kid coming back from Africa in 2 weeks, and he's going to be going out and looking for a job. There are a lot of, this is a university town. There are a lot of students who are graduating this year, going out and are going to be looking for jobs. How can they stand out from everybody else?
The question of standing out is a very good question, and I want to clarify that this technique works for students as well as all the way up. I had a CEO who used this challenge.
Really?
So it works. I mean, individuals who found work are accountants, graphic designers, software developers, general managers, all the way up to a CEO. And so it works full spectrum. Entry level, it's a no-brainer. It works marvelously. So you're asking me for details.
Yeah.
In the morning, you visit 7 companies. You physically walk in, and when you go to the receptionist, you have to say only these words. If you use any other word, it won't work. Hello, I was wondering if you could help me. Have you ever been on the street and you've gone to someone and say, hi, I was wondering if you could help me. Could you tell me how to get to this street? They practically walk you there. They absolutely love it. So little wording like this. So at that point, the receptionist looks at you and says, yes, absolutely. How can I help you? At that point, the individual is ready to give their pitch. My experience is you don't have to stand out. It's not very hard to stand out when you actually walk in. Just by walking in or making the phone call, you stand out automatically.